The idea behind the modern career site is that you basically, in the same way as retail, as you start browsing around it, you don't get lost. You'll always find your way back to what you actually want to do. And at the end of the day, your career site is designed to ultimately attract, get somebody engaged with your brand, and ultimately convert them into an applicant, or if not an applicant, into an advocate, somebody that will refer. So you're looking about giving them a good experience and showing them lots of what's going on. You've got to make your jobs visible. They've got to be easy to find, whether that's from the homepage, whether that's from Google, whether that's from LinkedIn or whatever. They've got to be easy, because 70% of people that land on your career site want to find jobs. They'll go straight to the jobs. The other part of it is your career site should be the hub of everything you do. You shouldn't have to try and recruit people or find people or source people and manage them in different outposts. So you don't want to have to manage people on LinkedIn. You don't want to have to manage people on Facebook. You don't have to manage people on Twitter. You want everything to come back, and all of your content and your jobs and everything else to be in a career site and pushed out to bring people back. So one of the classic things I see is people will put, for example, a social media feed on their career site, displaying jobs. So what that does, it basically, that you have your jobs listed, you click on the job, you go to Facebook, you click on the job on Facebook, you come back to the career site. Why? You just sent somebody in a big loop. So it's things like that. It's a case of they look great, but actually they don't add any benefit to the visitor. What you want to do is get everything out from your career site, onto the social media, click on that, and come back. So all of your attraction, engagement starts out in the social world, but when they're ready, they click on it, they come back to your career site, and you can convert them. Same way as retail, same way as everybody else does. But when they come back, this final one is about seamless experience. It's about, you've spent thousands on attracting people, whether that's direct sourcing, whether it's LinkedIn license, whether it's your career site, whether it's employer branding. Don't lose them at the final hurdle when they click apply. Because a lot of companies, that's exactly what will happen. They'll lose half the people that click apply and never get them. And you've wasted all that money. Your costs have doubled it straight away. So if you take nothing else away from today, take away job search equals shopping. We shop for jobs. We look for jobs in exactly the same way, or we look for a career move using the same set of emotions as we do when we're shopping. The same sort of psyche, whether that is our ethics in terms of whether we're buying organic meat or the low-cost essentials meat, whether we are getting a car that has got miles per gallon or whether it's got high performance. We're using those same set of emotions to make decisions. So it really isn't surprising that a modern career site should look at retail. So we know in life, whatever we're looking for, we start at Google. Just Google it. I'm sat in front of the TV and my other half Jo she'll say, what film was she in? Can you just Google it? Everything we do, we literally turn to Google. And no surprising, 70 to 80% of job searches start on Google. They may end up on a job board, a career site, a recruitment agency site, but they'll start in Google. So you want to make sure that people can find you. So we have a job seeker, specialist engineer, pavement engineer in Cambridge. Very specialist type of person. So he knows or she knows what they want. They type it into Google, scroll down, and lo and behold, we've got pavement engineer and principal pavement engineer. I click on the link, and it goes through to the Atkins career site. Because Google has been able to index that page and knows exactly what that page is about. So that's 50% of all Google for Jobs visitors complete an application. And I'll come on to conversion rates in a bit, but that, Vodafone's average is 24%. So that's double Vodafone's. And we're seeing this across we've got a lot of clients in the US who we've been looking at Google for Jobs since we could, and the conversion rates vary between 35 and 50% of people. So the people that are using Google Jobs are people that are serious and they're able to find you jobs and they're converting into actual applications. If you looked at Google average, it's about 8%. Indeed's varies, paid is about 4%, organic is about 16%. So Google for Jobs is the most successful in converting people into completed applications. I heard at a conference, it was an in-house conference earlier this year, really good comment from the team on the panel, which is a case of employer brand just happens. Everybody's talking about it. It should be like breathing. And I think that sums up in terms of Jeff Bezos. It's about what people say when you're not in the room. It's just what is happening, the conversations that are going on. So your job is really to try and communicate that. And you can spend fortune on sophisticated employer brand campaigns and everything else, but what are people actually interested in? If I look across all my clients in terms of what people click on, it's days in the life. It's who I am, what I do, why I do what I do. That's what they're interested in. We engage with people, so if I can find out what somebody does in the marketing team and find out a little bit more about them, that gives me a good feeling. Actually, am I the right type of person for this organisation? And that gives you something. I mentioned the career hub, career site being hub of everything you do. That gives you content that you can share on social. Because without content, what are you going to do on social? So you start it with your website, you start putting all this content together, and then you start pushing it out. People come back, click on a customer day in the life story, got some information about them, what it's doing, why they do it, other relevant content. And then as you scroll down, you've got related jobs. The other side of it is, they can then click through to the job, look at that. Notice we've got a person beside it. Recruitment's a human industry. It's a people business. So actually what we've found, is we've got people out on LinkedIn, etc., sourcing candidates. They're putting out their profile, but it's out there in LinkedIn. So actually what we found is that, from research with job seekers, is that they wanted to see behind the vacancy who was actually managing it. They didn't want to apply into this black hole that they never knew anything else. They wanted to actually see, is there a face behind this? Can I contact this person if I want to get an update, if I want to know what's going on? Don't hide behind the computer. This also means that you own the journey. So instead of pushing everybody out to LinkedIn to connect, you put your profile on your signatures which links back to the career site. Build up content. So recruiters are publishing content on LinkedIn, publish it on the career site, share it out to LinkedIn and bring them back to the career site. And what you do there, rather than being out on LinkedIn and saying people that looked at this profile, or this company, they come back to your profile on the career site and you own the journey. So, in terms of everything starts coming around you on your career site, all the activity. So it's really about social recruiting in your own environment. So we started benchmarking just some few stats in terms of number of visits to career sites, what people ATS they're using, conversion rates, just to give people an idea. So far 50% of people don't know what conversion rate they've got. In terms of industry average, it's 6 to 8%. Across that, we see that across all our recruitment sites, and that's built up over years. A job board will typically be around 4 to 6, maybe a bit less if it's a generalist. Employers tend to average between 15 and 20%. Our clients are averaging in excess of 20%.
We've been working really closely with our brand team and with our marketing team over the last year or so and taken us on a real journey. Part of that journey has been about our storytelling, our attraction and our engagement. What we're talking about is how awesome we are as a business, how we're a tech innovator, we're a leader in the tech space. And then the first part of our application process was Taleo. Now, any of you that use Taleo and know Taleo know that it's not awesome, it's not a tech innovator, and it doesn't demonstrate everything that we're talking about being. So what we found was this is where we needed to fix it. It's all well and good saying all of these things, but proof's in the pudding, right? With an 8.5-minute application process, you can't say you're a tech innovator. There was nothing nice about it, there was nothing sexy about it, it wasn't even mobile enabled in most instances. So why do we think we can get away with calling ourselves a tech innovator like this? So before chucking thousands and thousands at attraction and driving more candidates through to what can probably only be described as a lie, we decided that we needed to fix our our application process first. And what this allowed us to do was not just say we're a tech innovator, but show we're a tech innovator. And the world that we live in today, talk is cheap, action is far, far louder. So we wanted to show people how slick and quick a process can be. So we took an average of an 8.5-minute application process down to just Well, about a minute to a minute and a half, depending on how long your name is. And this shows how innovative we are as a business and how simple it can be to fix some of your first world problems that we face. Now, everyone's so hung up about putting chatbots on their website, doing all the sparkly, shiny stuff, but think of your careers website as a Jenga block, a Jenga tower, sorry. And what you need to do is make sure that that Jenga tower has a really solid foundation before you start putting all your fancy blocks on the top of it. Because without that solid foundation, that solid application process, which, let's face it, is the part that you want everybody to go through over the chatbot, the AI menu, whatever you're talking about, that has to be slick. It's the same as Amazon having the best search functionality, but when it comes to making a payment, you have to call someone up or you have to scan over your credit card details. It's that final mile which takes all of the effort and is the lasting impression with candidates. So please, 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 my ask of you is apply to a job through your website. All too often I speak to people who haven't applied to jobs, and if you've not applied to the job, you just don't understand how bad it is. Once you've applied to it, you know what you need to do. You'll know that without doubt, it will be broken. And at that point, that's the first part that you need to fix. The net gains from doing so, we've reduced our spend on attraction by half, and we've actually seen an increase in applications that are coming through. We're running a campaign for 2,500 customer service advisors in Manchester. Now, before the careers website, we were averaging between 20 and 25 applications a week. We're now averaging 140 applications a week for exactly the same roles. We're also finding that in the tech space, candidates are more likely to click apply and give us their details. Now, let's not forget, these are applications that we may have to process. So an increase in applications is not necessarily a good thing, but an increase of people to talk to is a brilliant thing. It allows you to screen more candidates, more appropriate candidates, and have a wider choice of candidates, instead of just the 3 that apply and having to pick the best of what could potentially be a bad bunch.
So I'm just going to leave you with one thought. Because, yeah, as Nick mentioned, there's a lot of talk about chatbots, AI, about doing all this sexy stuff. But actually, if the things don't connect, at the end of the day, all you're going to do is invest lots in getting people into the net. But there's a bloody great hole in it. So before you consider increasing the size of your net, fix the current one.